Hello, trumpet people. We are starting on page 6, number 1, called Away We Go. So we've got a couple things to talk about here before we play. And the first thing is that we have a note called E. Now there are 7 letters from the English alphabet that we use to identify our pitches, and A through G are the ones we use. And E in our trumpet music sits on the bottom line of the 5 lines of the staff. So we usually label things from the bottom up. So the first line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line. When we get F in the next song, it'll be on the first space, second space, third space, fourth space in between those lines. So when you have a note head that's round and it's not filled in and there's nothing attached to it like a stem, that is called a whole note. And a whole note counts for 4 beats like this. Ta, 4 counts. And then the next thing you see is a vertical line. That's a measure line. Those don't take up any time. They just tell us where to start counting over again at 1. And then the next measure has a rectangle hanging from the 4th line. And that is a whole note rest. And that also counts for 4 beats worth of silence. And you want to make sure the 4 beats of silence are the same amount of time as the 4 beats of note that you play. All right, so anytime we play one of these tracks on the first 2 pages, we're going to play them at one of 2 speeds, 80 beats per minute and then 100 beats per minute. I want you to get used to it at the slow tempo to where you can play it accurately before you play it up at the faster tempo. In these first couple ones, it's not going to seem like that much of a difference, but as we get into more complicated music, you're going to be happy for the slow tempo to start learning it and then excited about the faster tempos to play them at a more exciting and more challenging speed. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Away We Go. At 80 beats a minute, take a nice deep breath, like you're saying the word how. And then when we use that air, we use it out like the word to. And what's happening here is that your lips are being pushed together by your muscles, like in the letter M. And then your air is trying to blow those lips apart. Your M is trying to hold it together. And that's how we get sound in the mouthpiece. You want to take your mouthpiece and center it left to right, center it up and down. It's good to do this in the camera of your smart device or in a mirror. So we put a little bit of pressure against the teeth. The teeth are about as wide apart as the shank of the mouthpiece is. And some of you I know don't like to touch metal with your teeth. I don't really like that either. But that's a reference. It's about the size of a number 2 pencil. And we want to go. So you're going to firm up these parts of your cheek, and you'll get better at this as you get stronger. And we should be able to do what's called a siren. Like the vocal warm-ups that you probably learned in elementary school music. We start low and we increase the pressure on our lips as we increase the pressure of the air going out. So and now the faster you vibrate your lips, the higher note you get. The slower you vibrate your lips, the lower note you get. All right, here we go. Number 1. Try to line things up with the metronome. 1, 2, ready, go. Sorry. Start that again. So I'm firming up my lips, I'm taking a breath, the beat before I need to come in, and I'm getting set, and then I'm playing. If you try to bring it up right when it's time, you're going to be too late. Okay? The metronome that I'm using, this is a store-bought one, standalone. You can buy metronome apps or get free metronome apps on your smart devices. You can even type metronome into Google and it will bring something up before it ever takes you to a website. It's got its own built-in metronome. If you want to know how to spell that, It's metronome, metronome. And that's a device that helps us keep regular time. Now we're going to go to 100 beats per minute. Now some of you might be going and starting the air with your tongue down, but what we really want to do is think about a garden hose with a sprayer attachment on it. When you turn the water on from the wall, the hose is pressurized. Our tongue is what pressurizes our chest and allows us to have air pressure behind it. So stop the air from leaving your throat from behind your teeth. And then when you're ready to play that note, we drop the tongue down. And that gets you that nice clean start. Otherwise, we get kind of a start. Here's what happens when you just start with your tongue down and you're increasing the airspeed with your lungs. It sounds kind of fluffy. We want the nice clean attack. So we'll talk about that more when we get to number 7 or number 8. But for right now, try to go how in and 2 out. All right, we'll see you for number 2.